So let's talk a little bit about 50-year mortgages. First off, it's a hypothetical thing at the moment. It's just something that got thrown out. You're going to hear a lot of good things about it. You're going to hear a lot of bad things about it. And as far as any loan that you do, there's always a good and a bad. It all depends on your situation. Every situation is different. You know, you may not take a loan with a high interest rate, whereas somebody else might, because that's the only way they can get the loan. So, and buy the house they want to live in. So again, these are just different pros and cons to what the 50-year mortgage could do. First, on the pro side, it's going to allow more people to get qualified because you're going to spread that loan out for another, 20 years. That makes a big difference for some people. On a $400,000 mortgage, that could save somebody about $200 a month. And that could be just the amount of money they need in order to qualify for their loan on the house they need. Or it could allow them to buy just that little bit bigger house that they need because their family's growing and they're having another baby or something to that effect. So spreading the term out does help. It's kind of like a car loan. Back in the day, you only had a 3 or 4 year choice. Now you have up to 7 or even 10 years on a car. So it's kind of the same idea, just spreading it out for a longer period of time in order to allow you to qualify for more of what you may need to help you get qualified for your home. And again, lower payments. So it is going to lower your payment. That is a pro as well. When you're thinking about the cons or the things that are not really good about that, it does add a considerable amount of interest to your loan. So a lot of people say, I don't care, I'm not going to keep the house that long, it doesn't matter. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of people do not keep their homes or their mortgages more than 7 to 10 years. But when a 30-year mortgage, you're paying mostly interest up front, you eventually get to a point where you are paying some of the principal as well. On a 50-year mortgage, you're paying an exorbitant amount of interest at the beginning, and depending on how long you stay in the house, you may not ever get to a point where it makes a difference on the principal on the loan. So you may owe the same amount when you go to sell your house in 5 years, or maybe your house isn't the same value. Maybe it's not worth the same amount, so you would actually have to pay to get out of that mortgage and out of that house. So that's some of the things you have to kind of keep in mind on that. Adding too much to the mortgage, not paying down on the principal, those are some cons as well. But again, keep an eye out. Don't necessarily listen to the news and what the news is saying. Again, it's not all doom and gloom. There are good reasons either way. But think about what is going to work for you and your family and your situation, and then call us, call a lender, call me. Listen to some of the podcasts that talk specifically about specific items that are real and that will help you or won't help you. A lot of what you hear on the news is swayed one way or the other. We all know that. So sometimes you don't get the best information that way. And truly the best way to get information about the 50-year mortgage is to call me or to call a lender and ask. Because again, the 50-year mortgage has been something that they just threw out there and started talking about as it might be a way to help people qualify to get into homes. It's not set in stone yet. We don't know when it will be set in stone. And truly the only way you're going to know it's set in stone is if you call me or call a lender and ask them. So, as always, I'm here to help. I'm here to answer your questions. Give me a call. Dawn Hall, Van Dyke Mortgage, 239-789-7561, your lender for life.